We are truly up and running again after a long international break, as we return back in style as we pumped Hearts 4-1. It is the start of a really big week as we take on Atletico Madrid in the Champions League, before returning back to the capital again to face Hibernian. In today's video we'll discuss why the club have been handed a massive boost ahead of the Atletico clash, whilst also going over all the big talking points from our win against Hearts. But first, make sure you hit that like button, and subscribe to the channel for more Celtic content. Former Celtic midfielder Ryan Christie has been recently linked with a return to the club. His contract at Bournemouth runs out this summer, but he was encouraged about an extension when asked last month. Christie signed for the Cherries a few years ago and seems keen to extend his stay with the club. He said, "No discussions yet, but I'm more than happy here. Especially with a baby now, I love living in Bournemouth. It's a great place to stay and my family is nice and settled as well. My main hope is to impress the new boss as much as I can. If that leads to talks about a new contract, so be it. I'll be looking forward to that hopefully." Despite the links to Celtic, one imagines Christie's opinions of where he is at the minute won't change rapidly. It seems as though if he is offered a new deal, he would happily accept it, although one wonders what the 28-year-old's future may look like if Bournemouth don't wish to extend his period on the south coast. After a trouncing 4-1 victory over Hearts on Sunday, Celtic are looking ahead to the Champions League. Atletico Madrid come to town on Wednesday and the boys must get some points on the board. Ahead of the match, the Spaniards are facing a few injury issues. Brazilian winger Samuel Lino is set to miss the game after it was reported that he has a moderate sprain that is certain to keep him out of the midweek clash. Similarly, 2022 World Cup winner Angel Correa could miss the showdown. He suffered a minor strain in his side's 3-0 win over Celta Vigo at the weekend, and it remains to be seen whether he will make it or not. In spite of these issues, Diego Simeone's side will proceed to bring a strong squad to Glasgow. Antoine Griezmann is firing on all cylinders going into the match after a weekend hat-trick, and the Hoops will need to be at the top of their game if they have to secure a result. Celtic came away from Tynecastle with 3 Scottish Premiership points on Sunday afternoon, courtesy of a deserved 4-1 victory. Goals from Matt O'Reilly, Dyson Maeda, Kyogo and Tomoyaki Iwata were sufficient as the boys restored their 7-point lead at the top of the table. For the majority, it was a terrific performance from the Hoops, and here are 3 things we learned from it. Kyogo gets much needed goal. After a run of just 1 goal in 5 games for the Celts, striker Kyogo got back on the score sheet yesterday afternoon. He was quiet up until he netted, but it was a thunderous finish from the Japanese internationalist, who bagged his 5th league strike of the campaign. Best display in Rodgers' second spell. Against the Jambos, Celtic put in what was arguably their best performance in Brendan Rodgers' second spell in charge of the club. Particularly in the first half, the Irishmen's side were utterly dominant. The football they played was eye-catching and some of the best they have this season so far. Hearts were simply swept aside. Iwata stakes his claim. One of 4 different Celtic scorers yesterday afternoon, Tomoyaki Iwata bagged his maiden Celtic goal off the bench. Replacing Hatate with half an hour to go, the 26-year-old impressed and funded it in off the bar to put an end to proceedings in the 81st minute. Rodgers' squad is colossal, but with his strike, the former Yokohama F. Marinos midfielder will have put his name in mind of the Parkhead gaffer. It is fair to say few would have expected things to be as simple as they were for the boys yesterday. The opposition offered little threat, and with 4 goals of optimum quality, the champions will go back across the M8 with 3 vital points. Stephen McGinn thinks it's time for Mikey Johnson to move on from Celtic in order to progress his career and earn regular starts. Even though the 24-year-old has yet to play a single minute under Brendan Rodgers for Celtic this season, he had one of his best weeks in a very long time. The Celtic star scored for Republic of Ireland on Monday in what was his first start, as Stephen Kenny's side thrashed Gibraltar in their Euro 2024 qualifier. Either way, it was a much needed goal and performance from Mikey Johnson, who picked up his Man of the Match award, and Shay Given lauded him after the game. Understandably so, talk then turned to the situation at Celtic and trying to break into the team that hasn't been beaten this season in the league. Stephen McGinn is one of the opinion that he can't see things turning around for the winger at Parkhead, therefore it's best that he moved on, as he told Go Radio. "I honestly don't," said McGinn about Johnson earning starts at Celtic. "We have seen the turnaround of Liam Scales, a great example, Anthony Ralston and Greg Taylor, these guys, but I think Mikey Johnson is at that stage where he is playing for Ireland. He has had a loan out in Portugal. I met him a couple of times, he is a great lad, he showed great potential at times, especially in Brendan Rodgers' first spell. I think mixed through injuries, I just can't see the opportunity will come. There are too many options. You get handed a start for your country, you get on the score sheet and pick up the Man of the Match award. You can't ask for more. In that regard, he has done his job. It's now a case of putting previous injury issues behind him and trying to get on the pitch. This isn't a case of Johnson being handed a chance and not taking it. Those minutes just aren't there for him at the club level. New boy Lewis Palmer seems to be ahead of him in the pecking order now, and whilst the summer signing doesn't have the pace to burst past players, you can see the added quality on the ball. As mentioned before, someone like Liam Scales just needs to be looked at, and how he turned things around. That's a road Johnson can no doubt follow suit. Celtic Women went into the weekend high on both form and hope, as they took on Rangers in the SWPL Glasgow derby. By Sunday evening, however, they were left disappointed, as the Gers ran out 2-1 winners at the Excelsior Stadium. Caitlin Hayes did open the scoring on 53 minutes with a header, although Fran Alonso's side were pegged back and eventually beaten. This loss put an end to the Celtics' incredible 100% league record in the 2023-24 season so far. Because of the result, Rangers are now top of the SWPL. Celtic, however, are just a point behind them, and things can change very easily. Things were tight at the top of the table last year for the women, and it looks as though that will be the case yet again this time around. The Celts will need to simply persevere and recover after Sunday's result, which would have left many disappointed. As mentioned earlier on in the video, Celtic striker Kyogo once again netted for the Hoops on Sunday, as they put Hearts onto the sword in a 4-1 win. The Japan internationalist bagged his 60th Hoops goal in the win that had put his side 7 points clear at the top of the table. After the match, the manager Brendan Rodgers heavily praised him, but when he was asked to compare the 28-year-old to the likes of Odsonne Edouard and Moussa Dembele, he remained coy. He said, "His contributions are very good, like those players who were outstanding talents. Celtic over the years have always had a talisman up front, but it's about the team really. He's a wonderful little striker, he makes goals and runs, but overall he's a fantastic focal point for us." Without Kyogo's goals over the past few years, one wonders where Celtic would be. His contributions are colossal, and under Rodgers he has picked up from where he left off under Ange Postecoglou. He already has 5 league goals, including one in the Champions League. He will be aiming to build on this going forward, starting against Atletico Madrid on Wednesday evening. Celtic fans, what did you make of our win against Hearts, and do you think we fare a chance against Atletico this week? Yes or no? Let me know down in the comment section below. That brings us to the end of today's video, guys. Make sure you drop a like on this video and subscribe to the channel for more Celtic content. Remember, we have released our brand new Celtic t-shirts. We have our Brendan Rodgers Pope t-shirt and our Celtic Ultra t-shirts too. You can find them at celticapparel.com or just go down to the link in the description. Thank you, take care, bye bye.